It's time for the Friday edition of Litter Media Live on this 15th of August, 2025. I'm Dan Ramey. He's Mike Smith. And just a couple more days of no more Mr. Hand 2. Mr. Hand 2. It'd be cool if we had Mr. Hand 1 come back and fill in for Mr. Hand 2.
Wouldn't that be neat?
But one hand wouldn't know what the other is doing.
One hand wouldn't know the other.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Welcome to the program as we jump into the weekend. We've got a number of things to share with you in regards to news that's beneficial for your use. At least we hope it is. Mm-hmm. It's all good news, too. We'll share all that for you coming up, along with sports and this date in history. But let's start first with the forecast.
Yeah, look for another day of, in fact, another few days of sunny conditions and warm. Mostly sunny now through Monday with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Looks like rain could be back in the picture by next Tuesday and Wednesday. Although, even with the sunny conditions over the next few days, you know how it goes. Little humidity, high temperatures, evening comes along. Don't be shocked if you see a pop-up shower here and there.
Well, and don't be shocked if you are carrying an umbrella and you get hit by a bolt that comes down the shaft and gets a hold of you. I had that happen.
Don't do your Lee Trevino impersonation.
Precisely. Avoid all things metal and power lines. And
in trees.
Yeah, and you would think, oh, I'll get under this tree. It'll be nice and wrong kind of shoulder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Coming up, look at what's making news for us today. So stay close for that. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. When it comes to the heat, you want it to be cool. When it's cold outside, you want it to be warm. And when it's wet and it's not supposed to be, you need a plumber. You can find all that right at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. All you need to do is just click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website. Just go to littermedia.com and click on this ad, and it shows the direction to, here's Accurate's website. It pops right open. AccurateHVAC.com.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Pain was interfering with Tiffany's active lifestyle. Same-day hip replacement at the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute got her back to the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
As you follow along with us today, we certainly hope that you will, not only here on Facebook, but maybe even open our website. That's where you'll find a lot of the stories we're going to be sharing with you today here on Litter Media Live.
And we start out with this. United Way of Ross County, Mill City Apparel, Ross County Banking Centers, and Ross Community Action have joined forces to launch the Mill City Resiliency Fund, a relief initiative designed to support individuals and families impacted by recent employment disruptions at the paper mill. Contributions can be made at any of Vinton County National Bank's 16 banking centers, for which Ross County Banking is one of them, along with at Mill City Apparel, United Way of Ross County office, or through their website. Once the fund is fully established, Community Action will work with affected individuals to distribute gift cards in time for the holiday season.
Nice way of putting things together.
Yeah.
And we appreciate them doing that. We've reached out to Andrea Williams about coming in and talking about this, and hopefully she'll bring Jared Depew with her as well. And Jared, of course, involved with the making of this poster as well. So We appreciate their assistance on that. As the nation marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, you're invited to connect with your community, your environment, and the enduring spirit of the American experience, 1 mile at a time. The Tour 250 Challenge is simple. Complete 250 miles between September 6th of this year and Independence Day of 2026. They say there's no wrong way of doing this to complete your miles. Whether you walk, hike, bike, paddle, roll, or jog, track your miles using any fitness app or method you prefer, and you can win some fun swag and prizes, too. Join in September 6th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Koppel Athletic Complex. That's at 134 Star Drive on the west side of Chillicothe for their official kickoff tour 250 Challenge. This should be a lot of fun. I notice it does not say by automobile.
I was just
anywhere
thinking
on
that,
there.
right.
I thought, hey, we could knock this out in an afternoon. That probably won't be the case, though.
Not much physical fitness involved in driving. Yeah. Join local educator and archaeological researcher Gary Argabright Saturday, August the 30th at the Ross County Historical Society as he discusses the origins of Ross County's megafauna and shares insights from his recent mammoth tour visits to Big Bone Lick, also Waco Mammoth Site, the Lubbock Lake Site, and Blackwater Draw Site. Now, the museum's Ice Age Exhibit will also be open free to the public from 6:30 to 7:30 that night, featuring information on mammoths, mastodons, and early peoples of Ross County.
Could you say that again real fast? I mean, that would sound like a tongue twister at the start of things. Mammoths, mastodons, and early peoples of Ross County, the end of the Ice Age.
Just lucky I got through it without stumbling.
Yeah, rolled right through there. 107th Annual Ross County Farm Bureau Megafauna. Is that what it's called?
Meeting.
It's a meeting, yes. Shares insights in this. No, wait a second. I'm looking at the wrong one.
You're on the Ice Age story.
It is a megafauna. The 107th Annual Ross County Farm Bureau meeting is scheduled for, and they may change the name to it. It's the Ross County Farm Bureau Megafauna. This is scheduled for August 21st at Creekside Occasions on State Route 772, just south of Chillicothe. Registration starts at 6 p.m., dinner at 6:30. Don't be late for the megafauna. Business meeting will follow. Members will also be voting on policies, state annual meeting delegates, and board of trustee members. And the deadline to reserve a spot is tomorrow. No, wait, it's today.
It's today.
Yeah. By calling I'm sure it's 740.
Yes.
474-6284. Cost is $20. If you can't tell, I'm doing cold copy reading today, and there were some typos along the way.
Even though it's the Ross County Farm Bureau, they go through their district office, which is in Circleville. That's why it's a 474 number. Valley View Health Centers and Community Action Committee of Pike County Clinic facilities have been recognized with two of the nation's most prestigious health center honors from the U.S. Health Resources and Service Administration. The National Quality Leader Award, which is awarded to health centers achieving the highest levels of clinical quality outcomes nationwide. Also, the Advancing Health Information Technology for Quality Award, which recognizes exceptional use of health IT systems to advance patient care, improve outcomes, and increase efficiency. The Knights of Columbus Council 15793 will be having their drive-through food distribution tomorrow. That's Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. behind St. Peter's Church. We give you this announcement once each month, so the drill is the same for everything. They just ask that you don't show up any earlier than 10 because that just blocks off traffic with the number of people that come by. Our road reports. Oh, you got something else first.
We have a new video for you up on our YouTube channel right now. It is Bruce Overly and the sit-down that I had with him yesterday at the Pike Heritage Foundation Museum. I've only seen it from the outdoors. I've never been inside until yesterday. And it's amazing, the stuff that is in Pike County from its history, all right here. He was telling me that we have a shortage of things from the western part of the county. So I need to get some of my people out there to say, hey, I got some stuff to bring into you. This is like 300 years old. What we want it is the response by Bruce Overley. So if you want to explore Pike County's past, you can do so. They've got a big event coming up on August 23rd, a week from tomorrow. It is their Pike Heritage Day. Schmidt Saucy's house is going to be there with their truck. They've got a special exhibit that are opening. Have you ever heard of Roy Best?
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard the story of Roy Best, and I did not realize he was involved with most of the pinups that are men who were fighting World War II. The encouragement of, this is what you're fighting for, guys. He was the guy that did most of those.
I'll be darned.
Yes. He also did the cover work art for a Peter Pan book, the actual story of Peter Pan. And a lot of his stuff appeared on the front cover of the Saturday Evening Post.
He didn't do Uncle Sam Wants You, did he?
That I haven't seen his name being attributed to that at all.
Because that would be the most famous.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, but no, it's not. These were the pinup girls that you...
Oh.
Like you would see the paintings on the side of some of the warplanes.
Yeah.
And maybe in the bunks areas. Yeah. His hand was, and he's a Waverly kid.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So they got a brand new exhibit they're opening of that.
Good deal.
With not a whole lot of risque photos.
That's
just
good.
Want to let you
It's
know
a family thing.
It is.
The Road Report is right here in the downtown area of Chillicothe because of the Sand in the Street volleyball tournament, which kicks off later today. Streets right past the courthouse, that's all closed. And if you drive by and you're not familiar with what this is and you do a double take, what in the world is all that sand doing out on the street? No, there was not a hurricane that blew it all in.
No.
That is the annual Sand in the Street volleyball tournament. I think 5:30 is the first competition tonight, and then the big tournament is tomorrow.
Yeah, they have the schools are represented, and somebody wins a bunch of money for their volleyball program.
$1,000.
And so that will take place first, and then afterwards it's the Beach Fest, and they'll have that Dave Matthews tribute band performing this evening. And then tomorrow, early in the day, is when all the competitors, the really competitive stuff begins, and somebody's going to win some big cash out of that too. As well.
Good luck to everybody, and don't get hurt.
Yeah, we don't want to see that, but it's open and free to the public. So that's something you can do. Take the kids down, watch it, and participate in the event tonight and have a lot of fun. All right. Coming up in just a moment, we'll get you caught up to date on what's happening in sports. That's just ahead. But first, we want to tell you about SCAG. SCAG clearance sale continues today at Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. When you stop down there, you might be surprised at the low prices on the SCAG material they have on the showroom floor. They want to push it out the door. So if you want to, I'm telling you, you will go look at some of the big box locations. You'll come right back to Hometown Motors because you'll say, I can't get it as cheap as I can here right now. So find out more when you stop in at 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. Check them out online at hometown-motors.com. And also you can give them a call too. Give them a call to 740-773-8826 for Hometown Motors Incorporated. You want to hit your SCAG again?
SCAG.
There we go. Thank you.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
And coming up in just a few short moments, we'll announce this week's Player of the Week. Stick close, you might know this person. You never know.
You never know.
First, we want to tell you about what's going on. Next Friday night, football is back, baby. And we'll be there. We'll have Litter Media Radio at Paint Valley. It's the Indians and the Bearcats going at it. New coach at Paint Valley. But he's a familiar name. And he's been with the program as well.
John Penwell. 650 airtime.
Yes.
BJ Daly and yours truly.
And we hope that Mike Smith is a little more alive for this than he is right now during this segment.
Well, I thought this was your bit.
No.
I was letting you do it.
I merely threw it all together. You're going to be the guy that night.
That night. Dan is going to be there in week 3. The voice of the Cavs is getting the cobwebs blown off of him for their game on week 3.
Yeah, what you don't see here is what's ahead. So this is our opening game, Valley at Paint Valley. And then coming up on the following week, it'll be the Washington Blue Lions in a cat fight in Pickaway County as they host the Circleville Tigers host them. Jay Sherritt will have one game under his belt by that time, and so we'll get a chance to see the Circleville Tigers for the first time in Circleville. We've been there in reporting fashion, but we've not been there to broadcast, so looking forward to that. And also then week 3, we'll be back at the O with the Cavaliers as they host the Broncos from Western Brown will be galloping their way into Ross County. So that's all just ahead this season.
Is the high school in Mount Orb still?
I'm not sure because I think they built a new school.
Yeah, and a lot of times where in the past it was in the town, but a lot of times they go outside.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we got 50 acres out here. Let's put it there. So that may be the case. I've not been by Mount Orb for a while because I haven't even been to a Reds game for like the last 3 years, and that was the only reason I would go out that way anymore. Yeah. We do want to tell you that there's no high school activity to report on from last night, but we will have scores tonight.
Yes, it is actually the first night that high school soccer can get underway. And the last few years, the OHSAA has referred to this as football Friday night. Typically, when the regular gridiron stuff gets going, you don't have a lot of high schools that are able to play soccer on Friday night because their field is being occupied by the gridiron stuff. So this is kind of like an opportunity for everybody to get under the Friday night lights as they open the high school soccer season tonight.
And you'll have scores on the Haynes Total Healthcare High School scoreboard later on this evening.
Check that out tonight. Cincinnati Reds getting before we talk about the Brewers, the Reds open their series against the Major League Baseball best record Milwaukee Brewers. They've won 12 in a row. They come into Cincinnati tonight. The Reds are still a game behind the Mets because they were off last night in the last wild card spot. So
it's time to end the streak.
This will be big. And the Brewers have absolutely owned Cincinnati for the last several years. Not just, the last several. So wouldn't it be nice to stick a pin in them and get a sweep this weekend?
And we can't say that it's always been Craig Counsell. You know? Let's be honest. Craig Counsell, of course, is now with the Cubs. And so that, having said that, you can't say that his magic is still continuing because the Brewers went through a slump under the new leadership, and now, boom, they are back, baby. Yeah, they are
red hot.
They are that exactly.
Now the Guardians.
Yeah, we were talking about the Guardians. And they're kind of hot too.
Yeah, they snagged the Marlins last night by a score of 9-4. They open a series tonight against the Atlanta Braves. Now, the Braves are going nowhere this year as far as playoffs are concerned, but they have been certainly a thorn in the Reds' flesh, and they'll try to get that other Ohio team later tonight.
All right, time for our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union, and it's golf again.
Circleville golfer Isabel Perini. Over a few matches this year, she's done very well. She shot a 70 earlier this month at the Fairfield Union Lady Falcons Invitational. She followed with a 76 at the Bexley Invitational, and in a 9-hole round of tri-match the other day, she had a 41 against Unioto and Zane Trace. So congratulations to Isabel Perini of Circleville Golf, our player of the week.
And as we have told you in previous weeks, when it comes down to you got a player that you'd like to nominate, please do so. Simply send us an email to littermedia@gmail.com and tell us about the player. They just need to be an amateur athlete. So that means they could be on a Little League team. They could be
Tuesday night golf league,
or somebody
senior citizen
bowling out at Shawnee Lanes or something like that too. So if you want to send us a nomination, please do so. Again, littermedia@gmail.com, and tell us about the athlete. And if you got a photo of them, make sure you throw that in there too. Coming up in December, we'll have our Litter Media Player of the Year, courtesy of our friends at Neil Coleman Insurance, Wyandotte Mutual, and Homeland Credit Union. And they get a nice trophy out of all this.
Yep.
And the recognition of being Athlete of the Year. That's us. Or I should say Player of the Year.
And I can tell you, this trophy that Litter Media puts up, and I'm trying to be unbiased, it's one of the nicer looking individual trophies I've seen around.
It's something that the boss weighed in on. He said, I want to make sure that it's not just a plaque. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be like a trophy. So it is a nice piece of crystal looking. It'll stand out. Let's put it that way.
Does.
On your mantle, wherever you put that. So if you want to find out more, simply go to our website, littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week. You can see all those who have been nominated this year. You can also see the award itself. Plus, you can find out who the previous Players of the Year have been. We've had 2 so far. We have our third one coming up.
This will be number 3.
All right. Coming up in a moment, this date in history, we have a date of
1969.
Summer of Love.
If you're our age, everybody has heard of this.
Details coming up.
You know, they've been around nearly 100 years, Litter Quality Propane, serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. Litter Quality Propane.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. Mesmerizing. Tecumseh.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
Time for this date in history, and I could not come up with an image today to draw for this because I would most likely be called on the carpet by someone.
1969, the Woodstock Music Festival opened at an open farm field in White Lake, upstate New York. Promoters John Roberts, Joel Rosenman, Artie Cornfield, of all names, and Michael Lang originally envisioned the festival as a way to raise funds to build a recording studio and rock and roll retreat near the town of Woodstock, New York. Top acts like the Jefferson Airplane, The Who, The Grateful Dead, Sly and the Family Stone, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and many more, including the infamous Joe and the Fish.
Yes.
Performed at the 3-day event, drawing over 500,000 people.
Crazy.
The promoters actually faced bankruptcy because if you know the story, if you've ever seen the Woodstock documentary, people stormed the event.
Yeah.
Which meant people were getting in and they just finally said, we can't control this. People were coming in without paying. However, because of the 1970 film documentary, the promoters were able to gain everything that they would have lost in bankruptcy, and I think made a pretty good profit because that film did pretty well at the theaters.
And then the guy with the tractor pulling people out of the mud afterwards, he probably made a buck or two along the way too, I imagine.
Yeah. But it was something. Closed down the interstate freeway at one point because of traffic jams and so forth.
And you know, the infrastructure was not what it is today.
No.
You know, to be able to do that kind of thing. The reason I couldn't draw this is because this was one of the first things I remember seeing in Life magazine. And I would have been, 8 at the time, 7 years old. And it was the first image I ever had of a topless lady. and I, as soon as Mike said Woodstock, I thought, forget about seeing Charles Schultz Woodstock, the bird.
Right.
My first vision goes to that photo that I saw. I've never tried to look it up again because it's emblazoned in my mind.
Yeah.
Incredible moment in my life at 7 years old. But I would be in very much trouble if I were to try and draw it.
Yeah, so. Jimi Hendrix, who was getting to be really big at that time, insisted upon being the last act. But if you've ever seen the documentary, you'll know there was a big thunderstorm that happened, I think, on Friday night or overnight Saturday, and it backed everything up. So Hendrix finishes out on a Sunday morning, and there's not hardly anybody compared to the 500,000 people there anymore. They'd already left.
And despite what you think, he gave us what might be one of the most unusual but unique, or maybe I should say uniquely unusual, renditions of the Star Spangled Banner.
Spangled Banner.
And it's so cool today.
Yeah.
You know?
What's the guy that played a lot with Bruce Springsteen? I've seen him do that. Richie something.
Yeah, sorry.
Sanborn, maybe. I've seen him do that out at L.A. Dodger and San Diego Padres games.
But you can't emulate it.
Jimi Hendrix was the one.
It was done that one moment, and
Of course, originally people thought it was kind of like a sacrilege.
Right.
But you may not realize this. Jimi Hendrix was a member of the 101st Airborne Division for a while before he got into rock and roll music. And I remember he appeared somewhere on, I don't know if it was Dick Cavett's show or whatever. And of course, at that time, Vietnam was very unpopular. And he said, if you ever need me, guys, I'll be back. But I think the Army kind of showed Jimmy, you got a talent somewhere else, go use it. So, yeah, but he was actually in the 101st Airborne.
You can use that saw, buddy, better than you could for the
flying out of the airplane
or peeling potatoes, either way.
Yeah.
I think it was 2009 was the last time I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they had a display for Jimmy's work, and I want to say there was a paper bag that was in a display case that he had written a song on, and just the lyrics and all. But they had like his couch from his apartment that he lived in back in the late 60s and that sort of thing. But that one, gosh, that's, like I said, it's been 14 years, 15 years now.
Well, he passed away like later, either in 70, I think it was in 1970. It was sad. So many of these talented individuals went too early, unfortunately, because of substance abuse and things of that nature.
And even Jimi Hendrix looked at Terry Kath of Chicago, and he says, man, you're better than I am.
That's something.
That is saying something. It really is. Of course, both of them are gone now.
Yeah.
And if they made it to the kingdom of heaven, man, imagine the music they're playing.
Wow.
These ears wouldn't be able to handle it. So can't wait for the New Year's. Ross County Historical Society put out a post earlier today. It's Al Herrnstein's birthday. Many of you might recall the name Al Herrnstein. You've heard of Herrnstein Field and so on and so forth. Well, it wasn't named after Al Herrnstein. That was another Herrnstein. But this Al Herrnstein used to have a hardware store here in Chillicothe. He played football for the team up north before they became the team up north.
Yeah.
They were the, what they call them, the 62nd men? Or a 60-point-a-minute team, something like that. I can't remember, because they scored so many points on everybody. And
200 against Buffalo.
Yeah, just absolutely, you couldn't stop them. And then he later became the head coach of the Ohio State football Buckeyes. Yeah. And so...
first Rose Bowl participant. They beat Stanford that year in the 1903 Rose Bowl, 49-0.
Yeah.
But he was... when you were talking about him being at Ohio State, was he teaching there or what?
I don't recall. I think they just saw a good athlete who knows the game, and we need a coach. And so he ends up becoming because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, the stories, he would have the shop here open, and then he would go up to practice, in Columbus. But I remember asking John Herrnstein, how is it that you guys had a connection with Michigan? And part of their family had a lumber business, or someone they knew had a lumber business up in the Michigan area and in the Ann Arbor area. And they would go up and they would work during the summertime in the lumber industry or timber industry. And they just began a relationship. Al goes to school there at Ann Arbor and then would come back here. Of course, the meetings between Ohio State and Michigan weren't what they are today. But at any rate, we have a local tie to all that.
That team not only could score points, but their defense might have even been better.
Yeah.
They were never scored upon that season, and their opponents, now listen to this, their opponents never got the football past their own 40-yard line, which means they never, ever got to midfield in any game all season.
That reminds me of the state championship team for Chillicothe in basketball that Lou Postage and I were doing a game down at Gallipolis, and Gallia Academy got the ball on the other side of the mid-floor stripe maybe 4 times in the first half. Yeah, because the defense was so good for Chillicothe back then.
I don't think the steel curtain even was that good.
But one more thing for this Michigan defense. 1902, Michigan beat Ohio State 86 to goose egg.
Yeah. You had to bring that up.
Well,
I propped them up all I could, but I just couldn't bring myself to.
What is it Mike always tells us? You can't change history.
You're right.
So,
you're right.
Yeah,
some things are unpleasant. We haven't beat them in how many years now? 4 or 5?
I've lost track.
Yeah, that's sad. You can't even remember the last time we beat them.
Well, Ryan Day only has 2 losses in the Big Ten, right? And those have both come to the guys up north.
Well, wait a minute. He replaced Urban, didn't he?
Yes.
Urban never lost to them, and he finished on a win streak. So he's lost.
I was thinking I saw something the other day where he had 4 losses in the Big Ten, and Ryan Day only had 2 losses. Maybe that's outside of the Michigan games.
Because I think Urban finished out his coaching at Ohio State like, 6 or 7 or 8 wins in a row. And then now we're like 3 or 4 in a row we've lost. So, but we're the national champs. I guess in the end, that's what matters the most.
Precisely. And we'll see how it all starts coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
2 weekends from tomorrow. All right, that's it for this week's programs of Literate Media Live. If you missed anything this week, you can always go back and watch them here on our Facebook page and also find them on our YouTube channel where they're archived there. And don't forget, we've got a number of special events that we have throughout the week in which we'll have something that is squarely focused on one particular guest and one topic. So we have a number of those scheduled for next week as well. So in the meantime, thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend. And I'm out Monday. Mike's going to be here running everything by himself.
The Lord will be my guide. With him, all things are possible.
Amen to that. So we appreciate that. Mother-in-law's having surgery number 2, and somebody's got to get her to the...
We wish her well.
Yeah, so that's all this coming Monday. So enjoy your weekend. We'll see you soon on another edition of Literate Media Live.